Let me relax.
Love, love and light family, peace and blessings. It's me, your girl, Catalea, and welcome to Catalea's World. And today we have the lovely and beautiful
Mhm.
Mrs. Brittany Tankard. And I like to let my guests always introduce themselves. That is how I do it, that is how I roll. So
Mhm.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. Love and light. Happy Monday. I hope everybody enjoyed their Juneteenth 2.0. I'm Brittany Tankard and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And you probably know me from TV. Bravo's Thicker Than Water. It's a reality show that my family, the Tankards, and I were on. We had 3 seasons in the middle of filming season 4 right now. It'll be out on Amazon next month. So make sure if you're using your best friend Prime, go ahead and like pass out that password and everything so we can get those streams up so we can get a season 5. I'm just saying. But by trade, I work in IT during the day, and I used to be super heavily into Zumba instructing, but I did have an injury. So I do my best to live a healthy lifestyle, kind of retired from that space in my fitness journey. But I'm just a person that is healing and loving the journey and unlearning things as I'm learning new ones. And my girlfriend asked me to come, so here I am.
So this is a really interesting story about how I met Brittany. I
Tell them, friend. Take it from the top.
don't know. Do you remember how you? I don't know how exactly it went, but this is how it went. My mother and her mother met each other. This
Mhm.
was a long time ago at I think it was a church in California. So our mothers met each other. And so when our mothers met each other, I started to follow her mother, right?
Mhm.
And then I saw Brittany and I was like, whoa, like
Mhm.
I resonate with her energy so well. Let me go ahead and click that follow. So I started following her, but I didn't know that she was following me back.
That's funny.
And so we just, over the time, we just started to, vibe with each other and conversate and back and forth. And it's been years, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just so blessed to have you.
Thank you, friend. I'm excited to be here. I'm really excited about all the things that you're doing and how you're bringing awareness to transparency. I think that the world needed to sit down for a while, and during that time, I think that there's a new sense of enlightenment that a lot of people are having right now. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Trend.
Yeah,
I like.
me, like the most important thing, like a lot of people are like, Catalea, we see you in your highs, we see you in your lows. Like, whoa, like we never see nobody do anything like that. And for me, I think the most important thing is to be real, to be genuine, and to, instead of just letting people see, like, the social media shit that everybody see,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody at their highest points, everybody at their lowest points. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted everybody to just see me for me and
Yeah.
see the journey that I'm on.
Yeah, no, I agree. And last night when I called you, we actually talked about this last night because I was like, girl, I hope you don't mind me sharing, but I was like, I saw you like really like in a rough patch the other day on IG, and I was just thinking like, geez Louise, like what's going on with her? And I instantly, because of the way we're wired, moved towards judging you. Like I instantly was going to, why would she let somebody see her like that? Then I had to be like, wait a minute, hold on. Why are you thinking that though? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by like we have to, when we're learning and going through our healing process, we also have to unlearn some things because is that really your opinion about somebody sharing their truth? Or is that just the way you wired because of things you thought and seen and heard, not your real mind, will, and emotions? So I think it's important to number one, pay homage to the things that we've been taught growing up. But that doesn't mean that in your journey, your wellness journey, your healing journey, that you have to bring those type of perspectives with you. It's almost like you have an awakening and a renewedness. I wanted to say awakening and renewedness at the same time, and it didn't work. But it's like you're having an awakening and you're renewing your mind, you're renewing your thoughts. It's like you have a new set of lenses. And to me, it's really quite freeing to go into a moment where you have, I call it little Brit. It's little bit and it's little Brit and big Brit.
Mm.
Little Brit is my life before, the things that helped me form my perspectives that I had through my trauma self. Big Brit is my healing self and the way that I want to see the world based on what I think in my mind, will, and emotions, and if that's in alignment with my goals and how I'm feeling now. So sometimes we don't realize that little Brit, little Catalina, and come into a situation where you're judging it from the old you, from your prior you, from your unawakened you, and you have to catch yourself. It's okay to have those moments because it means that you're aware, right? And it means that you're formulated to be more cohesive with things being organic in your subconscious with the new awakening you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's talk a little bit about you. Let's talk about how was it for you, like growing up, as a pastor's daughter, and then being catapulted like into
Mm-hmm.
like a reality show. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've watched you grow up from the reality show. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah. So, girl, shoot, that'll take all your time right there. It was a whirlwind. I mean, I grew up. Let's just set the record straight. I grew up poor, very very poor. My parents are from Florida. They got married and they had my sister when she was a few months. They moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I was born, my brother was born right after that. My parents got divorced maybe a year after that. And so from the age of 2 until, let's say, I want to say about 12, I lived in a single parent home with our mother.
We would have never knew that.
Yeah, people don't know the full story. They see the things now and they're like, oh, she must have had like, no, it was a lot, just like a lot of other brown people. And so we lived in, I remember us living in a 1 bedroom, and like it's like the hoodest part of Nashville. It's not the hoodest, but it's close to it, part of Nashville. And we all three of us, my sister Brooklyn, myself and my brother, we all slept in our mother's bed. We had a 1 bedroom apartment. And my mom worked 2 jobs, and I believe she was also getting another degree at the time. And my mom, now that I think of it, I think that's kind of why I look at her, or have looked at her, as a superhero, because when my mom and dad got divorced, she was 27. So she was 4 years younger than what I am, in a city and state where she's not from, raising 3 kids as a divorcee with the man that she moved here for and with. So it was tough growing up. We didn't always have the things that we wanted. Sometimes we didn't have the things that we needed. But luckily, my mom tried her best to make sure that we, got a good education. I do wish that there was a lot that would have been different about my childhood. Being so young, I was exposed to so much so quickly, between the ages of 2 and 12, before my dad remarried, that I kind of wish that a lot of that would have been protected. I probably wouldn't be undoing a lot of the things that I'm undoing right now, as far as my process and the way that I respond instead of react to people. However, it makes me who I am right now. So parents got divorced. Dad went on to get remarried. That was a bad situation. They got divorced. Then he married my bonus mom, which my bonus mom is the one that's friends, for the viewers, that's friends with Cataleya's mother. And they have been married for 20 years. And she is the best. And so growing up, I lived a really active childhood. I always played sports. I always ran track. I made homecoming court every single year. Like I was always like in the mix. I was always in the flow. Like I would figure things out. If I didn't have ponytail holders, I would use my shoestrings. If I didn't have a rain jacket, I would use a trash bag. You know about the trash bag. You
Mm,
ain't been
I
broke
plenty of
till
trash
you
bags,
get that
girl.
trash bag. Baby, you cut them shoulders out. You use the corners and use one of them as a hat. Quit playing with me. So I'm talking about grits for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Who know about cream of wheat? You ain't poor unless you know about
I
cream.
knew about cream of wheat,
You
girl.
knew about the cream of wheat, sis, because I'm telling you, that's how we was living. I'm talking about everything we ate came in a can. Tuna, salmon, peanut butter, government cheese.
I was about to say that government cheese was good though. Don't
It's
lie.
been busting, but you can only get it if you was on welfare. So yeah, that's the life that we was living. It was a lot of back and forth between my dad and mom as far as us going over there for summers, going over there on weekends. It was a lot of custody battles back and forth. We was always in and out of family court whole time, like until I got into high school. So after high school, I went to college. I went to MTSU, then went to Ashford, then ended up going to Purdue. Ended up dropping out. I don't want to say drop out. I left. I was done with it. And worked at my job in sales for 7.5 years. And then just recently, 2 years ago, got into IT. So I'm in a field now that a lot of people have to go to school to learn the skill set for. But I was able to, those 7.5 years working my steady sales job, learn a lot of the skill sets and just have the foundation to be able to understand the dynamics of what I'm doing right now. So although the knowledge piece and the knowledge portion is different, there's a standard uniform skill set with people who know how to research and get stuff done. So now I'm living my life as the very best version of myself. I decided that I want to do some changing, some things about me. So this you didn't know, and I'm just gonna be bold on your channel right now.
Girl, tell me, honey.
I'm gonna
That's
let you know this. I'm gonna let you know this right now. I'm gonna put it out to the world because I know a lot of people that come to my page they're gonna not understand when they start seeing my physical healing journey and my mental healing journey. When I was how old was I? When I was 12 years old, I was stabbed in the head during a home invasion. And I lost 1/3 of the blood in my body. I had to get blood transfusions, everything.
yeah, you didn't tell me that part.
I haven't told you that, but I'm telling you that now so it can make sense of what my healing journey. It's like the physical part it overflows. They interlock. You get what I'm saying? And so it was a few things there. Aside from the physical trauma, it was also the emotional trauma. And from then on, being so vigilant and feeling like I had to be in protective mode from being a young child, being stabbed in the head, almost dying, being found, left for head for dead. I'm talking about SWAT going all through the house looking for intruders. Like that that at the age of 12 was like really really super traumatizing, but it also caused me to
Gonna
have
make me cry. That's so. Oh my god.
don't cry because I'm not, so you can't. Don't cry, friend.
But that's wow. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that happened. And from that time I've had the brain injury, but I just started having side effects from the brain injuries in 2018. So in 2018, I got really, really sick. I was in a really sadistic like relationship as well. Like the person I was dating was just not anybody, like trauma filled, all that. So I was emotionally out of it. Then I was being prescribed medicines for my brain condition. And I was really, really sick. I had to take a leave off of work for like 6 months. And then, of course, you're taking medicine, and then the medicine has side effects. And you take medicine to those side effects, and then you take another medicine. And a lot of those medicines, like the side effects, was like depression, like suicidal thoughts, like sporadicness, paranoia, confusion, like all of that. Everything they say, like take this medicine, and this might be a side effect. I had it. And so coming out of that relationship and then coming out of, like being titrated off of the medicine, it's almost like being drunk and becoming sober. You really realize everything you did when you was drunk. So I really had like eagle eye view, like of looking at myself and looking at my depression and looking at the way that my life was going. And I was like, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that. You get what I'm saying? And so I've really been intentional about finding out the way, because what I've been taught being a culture girl growing up in the church is one way.
Too.
Girl, listen. So it's one way, but I'm like, that way is not really working with me, because there was a lot of religion and tradition that was going on. And it was a lot of, this is what we do because we do it, but you don't even know why we do it, but you will still pass that on to your children and tell them to do it and say it's because I said so. And I didn't like that. So I was like, let me start looking around and see what I can find that I can be more cohesive with, that I'm more in tune with, and it's more in alignment for what I feel like could be a journey of my own. And that's when I started taking up womb healing and my spiritual journey with connecting to God the way that I want to connect to God, and not just doing things because they're traditional or because they're religious, because I'm not a follower anyway. So I was tired of people telling me that my life was going to be better if I did things in a certain type of way, and the shit wouldn't get better.
Me too, and I've always been the so-called black sheep of my family. Growing up, I have a long line of pastors who are, my grandfather was the pastor, my great grandfather was a pastor, my uncle was the pastor, my father is a pastor,
Woo.
like just a long line of that. And so when I started to rebel and go against it, but not really going against it, but just having my own mind, figuring out what it is I wanted to do, I did get a lot of backlash from it.
Scrutiny, of course. Yeah, because it's like they're looking at you like, how can you not believe what I've been telling you when I've been telling you this for so long? You know what I mean? And it's just like, how dare you not want me to have my own individuality, though? And so what I have accepted is people not accepting me. And I'm okay with that, because what I understand now that I didn't know then, when you set a boundary with someone and you tell them, hey, in my life, this is how you and I can aid one another from where I'm sitting, and they tell you what they need from you, you all have a verbal contract of what your boundaries look like. If
Right.
that person is crossing that boundary, whether it be your spirituality, the way they reach out to you, your respect, how you all engage with each other, to me, it's up to your level of like patience, is your level of patience, if you want to reiterate that, or if you want to put that person in a different spot in your life. To me, I have been through therapy trying not to, because I mastered it so well, it's gone the other way. I used to be somebody who's like, oh my gosh, let me do. Let me take care of everything. Mama, you need this. Daddy, you need this. Like, family need this. I was popping up. Now it's like, when you start really waking up and opening your eyes, you have to work hard not to just block somebody. I mean, off of things that like they could have done a lot more for you to have been that extreme, I think. So I think it's all about balance, and us getting out of the mindset that we have to explain ourselves. If I want to tell you what's going on in my journey, it is a gift.
Right.
It's
I
not that I'm entitled to tell you. So I've started just backing up. And I think that I love that about what I'm seeing in the world today. People started backing up and pausing and thinking about what they're thinking about before they just responding to, because what happens is baby Brit will respond before big Brit can process that she don't owe you no explanation.
right.
Traumatized Brit will come in and swoop in and try to smooth it out.
And
But
try
big
to
Brit really don't want to talk to you like that.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot.
and I know for me too, like I had to have this thing where, I don't know if you ever had this feeling. I've been into atmospheres, into places with people, and when I walk in, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing!" Like I'm talking, I'm mingling, woo woo woo. I'm getting along, I'm vibing, I'm in my comfortable space, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then here I come, little Catalea, right? Little
Mm-hmm.
Catalea, insecure Catalea, Catalea from when I was talked bad about from family. Be quiet, shut up, you can't do this, woo 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 woo.
Mm-hmm.
Then here I come, and then I start to get in my own space and kind of pull my own self down. You get what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you mean by that. Like oh, the old me is this way. And sometimes you have to tell your old person or the person who you left behind
that I'm not talking to you right now.
that I'm not talking.
I'm not talking to you right now. Big Brit is in the building. I got us. Like Big Catalans in the building. I got us. I'm
Right.
not talking to you right now because if you show up, it's going down like the Titanic went down. So you sit over there and tell me I'll be with you in a minute. We're gonna discuss this. No, I definitely get what you're saying. And then like also when you're an extroverted person and when you're a person who walks in the room and it's like the earth gravitates to you. You walk in the room and it's like almost like you, I feel like it's like the Snoopy like cloud is up, it's the sun just following you around. I mean, everywhere I go, even before the show, just always been like that. You gotta understand this, Cadillac. This is what everybody needs to hear if they don't get nothing else. Everybody can take that. Everybody can't take who you designed to be. Everybody can't take the fact that you're favored. And favor ain't fair. But I ain't the one to put the extra pixie dust inside the bowl when he was mixing it up. So you gotta take it to the Father because I wasn't there yet. But I'm saying we share that energy. Used to see baby Cataleo, they want to share that energy so freely. When also, because we've been used to it, and that's how we're wired to be kind, to not disappoint people, to not keep people out of our space, even when they make us uncomfortable, we have to again remember that being in that space close to us, and the number one reason why we have been taken advantage of in our lives is because we forget that it is a gift.
Exactly. I agree. I
We
agree.
do. We forget that, like, what we have on the inside of us, there's 8 billion people in the world, and everybody has something that's gold. Think about that. It's 8 billion people in the world. Everybody has something that, if they tap into it on the inside of them, it is gold. Ain't enough Bitcoin in the world that's going to be as valuable as what God placed on the inside of you. And no perspective, and nobody coming at you, and no confusion can ever take away from that goal unless you allow people into your space with either could you coming from a hurting place, them coming from a hurting place, or both. You get what I'm saying? That's why I don't want to hurt no more because I want to be. I'm not saying I'm not going to do things that are going to happen that's going not going to hurt me. I'm saying I don't want to be a actively hurting person sitting in a hurting space in my life because I want my spiritual senses to be aware to keep out as much as possible, minimize the things that's toxic around me, so that my subconscious is heightened to pick up on my intuition so that I know when I'm in spaces with people that will serve me and I can serve them, that I'll be in tune with it. I don't want to miss that. So when my goal match their goal, I want little Brit and little Cadillac to not have nothing to do with that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I completely agree. I completely agree with everything you said. It definitely resonated with me.
Yeah, that's just girl, I don't know. I could talk about it all day. It's been a very, very freeing year. Um just the way like that I've been able to handle issues. It's like issues don't even become issues to me. I could just remember being terrified, like with any type of conflict. Somebody could say something to me, and I feel like it's gonna turn into an argument, and I would like have like an internal anxiety attack. But
Me
now
too.
you did
I would
too.
be quiet. Like I would just let people talk to me crazy. That's how I used to be.
Yep.
And I would just be quiet because I didn't want to go into the whole
Further agitated it. You
like
didn't want to further agitate it. You didn't want it to escalate because then you knew it could turn into anything else. It could turn into like a fist fight. You didn't want to go that route, so you would let people just run over you. It's the same. I got bullied so much. I went to 3 middle schools and 3 high schools, and I mean, my mom kept having to take me out. Kept having to take me out. It was crazy. And then I realized it's because being an adult now and in my healing journey now, I realized that other people recognize my gold, and I was the only one who didn't see my gold.
exactly, man.
They
I
saw it.
had that same experience in high school. It was like no matter what I did, I was getting picked on. No matter what I said, I was getting picked on. I was an extroverted person. I've always been that way. And I never could really understand it. But as I got older, I was like, it's because, and the same thing goes for you, it's because it's something in you, right? That person does not have,
that they
that
want a piece of.
had. And so that's why they have to feel like they have to belittle you, attack you, or do whatever because they wish they had that what you have.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, that's okay. Like, I mean, they're most likely someone who has trauma themselves. So they can want that, but the reality is chasing my goal put you 10 steps back on finding out what your goal is, because you'll never have my goal and I'll
Right?
never have yours.
Exactly.
You can't wish yourself into being in somebody else's body or wish yourself into what their destiny is. Your journey is yours and their journey is theirs. But people just, even have you ever like wondered like why somebody was doing a certain something to try to get at somebody or get revenge on somebody? Because when you really think about it, even if you pissed them off and messed their day up, did yours get better? Like, how are you closer to your divinity
Right.
by being a manipulative person to get revenge? And
Right.
sometimes the revenge is just that their energy was good and they wanted a piece of it, so they want revenge on you for having the awareness about your goal
Right.
indirectly. You know what I mean? Girl, so like, girl, let me get you some water. I'm out of breath.
I'm just drinking wine. I'm over here drinking. This is my favorite wine, y'all. It's Moscato. It's like my favorite of all time.
Girl, everybody be talking about Moscato. I don't think I never had
No, this
Moscato.
Frascato.
Ruscato.
It's a Italian red
Oh,
wine. Yes, it's a sweet red. It's really good. It's like my fave.
no.
And it's inexpensive too, but it gets you right.
Girl, I'm trying to detox right now because I'm getting ready for my birthday in a couple weeks. So,
And I'm coming, and I shall be there.
are you? You better get your plane ticket. I sent out invites today. Did you get one?
When did you send it out?
I might have skipped you, friend. I'll send it to you.
See, you told me. I told you I
Ooh,
sent
with my RSVPs, I got 14 spots up. I'm gonna send it to you as soon as we get on.
it. Okay. So yeah. So okay. So we talked about that. Now, what? How do you? What is your opinion on like divine femininity? Like, what do you feel divine femininity is?
That's a good question. So I think that it's something that we all can be in tune with in our own way. When you say what is divine femininity, I think it depends. That's a it depends question, because I think that we can define it based on what our goal is. To me, when I started reading Queen of Fool's book, I
Oh,
had a different perspective of it. Do you have it?
hold up.
Let me go get mine.
Hold up.
Let me go get mine.
Don't play. Do I
I
have it?
find out you got Sacred Woman.
Do
You
I
got
have
Sacred Woman?
Lewis book?
Oh yes, ma'am. When I started reading this book, Sacred Woman by Queen of Fool, it kind of really changed my perspective, like on a lot. Because believe it or not, there's a lot that I agree with her on in this book, and there's some things I don't agree with her on in this book. But when I started doing my wound healing and seeing how, diet and sleep and environment and perspective and all of that, um, all play a role
Mm-hmm.
with our divine feminine energy, um, I realized how important it was to create stillness within your divinity and with
Right.
in your femininity. So I think for person to person it ranges. But for me, I just kind of figure out where I want to be in my space every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I said, when I first earlier this year found out I had fibroids, I had to go vegan
Mm-hmm.
for a while. Cause
Yeah,
the doctor, you go to the
gotta
doctor, they're
work
gonna be
for
like,
you.
let's cut you open, let's you gotta do 8 months of recovery. That'd be dramatic. I'm
Baby,
like, you ain't cutting on me. I don't have no kids yet. Like, baby, no, we gonna find a way to shrink these things. So that when I went vegan, I didn't put it out there like bashing other people for not being vegan or you're a woman that doesn't care about womb
your
health.
journey. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Or like you're a woman that doesn't care about womb health or about your feminine energy if you won't protect it. The things that you put in your body and out of your body and your sacred place and things like I wasn't all deep like that. I was just like, this is my journey. I'm documenting in case other people want to see it. And then also I'm doing a recipe book. So, I'm posting different stuff that to promote my book and everything. And so I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and it was like, Britt, a lot of people when they have a perspective about something like divine feminine energy or just anything that's has to do with any type of spiritual healing, then people so much want to be like I've arrived, and it diminishes the love zone that we have for our community. It's our duty to enlighten them, but you don't have to do it in a demeaning way.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at with it, girl.
For me, femininity is the divine femininity. When it comes to for me, it's important because I feel like a lot of us we don't know how to tap into that. Like because we
Mhm.
have, for instance, I watched my mother, go from this very feminine woman to divorcing my father and having to be in a masculine role. She had to be in a masculine role, right? So
Mhm.
then I saw her go from one, type of person to another type of, and it was just unfortunate because I knew that she was uncomfortable in that role. I knew it. I seen it, saw every day. Like she was frustrated because she had to
Mhm.
work and do everything all by herself. So I remember when she got with my stepfather, right?
Mhm.
And they started having this. It was like kind of like a tug of war type of thing because he was like, "I'm the man." She was like, "I'm the man and the woman." You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like this tug of war type of thing. And I remember my mama finally trusting my stepdad enough to sit back and go,
That's a word. That is a word. And
okay,
the thing is, you can almost be like that growing up, especially if you were a child that was left in spaces unattended a lot, even by your female mother. We can
okay,
develop that as children. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. Because I think that in some ways I play that role. Sometimes. I am type A, Leo, very, very men would call it aggressive and I would call it straight shooting. But if I laid out my trauma and the things that happened, you will be understanding why I'm so vigilant that I look more in the rearview mirror than I do in the front.
yeah,
Because if you go anytime women go unprotected, then we will come off as more masculine. But I think it's more important for a man that's dating a woman to, instead of put their foot down and say, I'm the man, first of all, embrace your feminine energy, because men do have that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, or men or mean that you're doing anything outside of your realm of comfort or the way it's supposed to be. But then also find out why. It's a reason for that. And a lot of single women, like my mother has always been super super sweet, and hasn't really, like, she we don't have the same testimony when it comes to that. But so I didn't see that in the home. But after a lot of the trauma that I experienced in my life, I see myself. I've been told by a guy, actually, this must have been about 6 months ago, and I had met him and we were cool, kind of talking on the phone, and he told me, girl, I kid you not. And it was the last day we talked. He told me I was too masculine. That's what he told me. He said, "You so dominant. You're too masculine. Women are not meant to be masculine." I said, "Why?" "Because I make more money than you, because I'm more of a go-getter than you, or it's because you just want to be able to puff your chest out? Because if you puff your chest out, but you can't protect me, mind, will, and emotions, what do I need you for? If I'm already doing that role and it's like this comes off as aggressive, then I'm not automatically inclined to die that down. Especially if I don't know that you're gonna be able to step in and be and bear arms and like and protect me, wrap your arms around me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm your girl or you my bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's
No,
really going on?
I was like that, and I didn't realize how masculine that I had become, but it was because I had to be.
But why? Let me ask you a question. Why are we using the word masculine? What does that even mean?
I'm just saying, like, as far as being more, like, because I mean, let's be real. Even my brother, like, or my older brother or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he always
Mm-hmm.
tell me, you know, sis, like, you a tomboy, like you always over here with the dudes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, like, I'm a woman, like, I'm a woman, I'm
Mm-hmm.
feminine, and or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
masculinity to me, right? To me, masculinity is just being a man, and femininity is being a woman, and it's
Mm-hmm.
both of them should be celebrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think that that's a bit like when it comes to gender roles, I think that's a fine line. Because whoever said it goes back to what we were taught and how we feel that we're more connected to now. Whoever taught us that doing this was a guy thing to do or doing this was a feminine thing to do. Where did those standards even come from? You
No,
get what I'm saying?
but for me, feminine is not what it is that you actually do, or masculine is not what it is that you do. Because let's talk about Queen Callie,
Mm-hmm.
the warrior, fierce, ruled with a swift sword,
Mm-hmm.
but she also embraced her divine feminine, her womb, a healing, coming from a healing portion, coming from the portal to the earth. We bear fruit, we bear children, that sort of thing. So I'm not talking about like, oh, you can't be a warrior. You know what I mean? I'm not
I
saying
don't. I'm trying to make sense of it. You know, when you ask me, friend, because you always say, you know what I mean, and you know if I don't, I'm gonna be like, friend, now I don't know what
exactly.
you mean.
See,
If I don't, I really don't understand that. Help me understand when
he
you
said,
say that like the gender roles are not defined by what you do.
Ebony said, I feel like we can be all things, but we have to know what situations to use what energy. And I agree with that.
Mhm. That makes sense.
I that's the point that I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? Like, divine femininity doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Mhm.
Like divine masculinity doesn't have to
Yeah,
be a bad thing.
I think it's a case by case basis. I just like I said in the very beginning when you first asked me, I think that it depends. It's one of those things where it just depends. I don't think there's a uniform way to be masculine or feminine in any way.
I just wanted you to tell me your.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that's my opinion. I just think that you find out what works best for you. You know what I'm saying? And like it's trial and error. And then like I won't pretend to know everything that there is to know about spirituality and healing. Like I'm new to this. But the beauty of it is that it's like it's your journey. So if you decide that you even want to give that thought, you could, as far as your femininity is. But in your journey, if you don't, then it may not just be a
I,
part of something you're thinking
I
about, you know?
feel like womb healing and embracing who you are,
Mm-hmm.
embracing that, because a lot of us, just as far as women goes, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, like, we have to be so domineering, so hardcore, so extra because of all the things that we've been through. We have to
Yeah.
be that way,
Yeah.
but that shouldn't be the case, especially when we're dealing with men. When we become to deal with men and we get in a situation where I'm dealing with a man and he's pursuing me,
Mm-hmm.
to understand that I shouldn't be acting like a man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think but my problem was like with the situation I was telling you, that guy that was trying to talk to me like 6 months ago, is that
His ass was just
in,
insecure.
in his role
He
that
was
he was in, you have to, like, if you come into a space, and I understand that you want your woman to be able to submit, but you have to be somebody worth submitting to. If you
exactly
just a dud out here in the F boy, I'm not bowing down to that. I'm not gonna take this off. I'm not going to put my back against my shoulders against the back of my chair and relax, because I feel like I gotta be the one that's looking out for everything, and I'm not dating nobody like that.
not to cut you off,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't have to put your back up against the wall or take your crown off. If that man wants to be with you, if that man sees the prize in you, which you are a prize, he should be willing to put the crown on your head and polish that motherfucker.
Okay, so
Tell you
friend,
how
you
beautiful
in here,
you
you
are.
actually got the words wrong. I think you misheard what I said. I said put my shoulders against the chair as if I'm relaxing.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, because you
I was
I
about to
was
go.
like,
I was
girl,
about to go.
y'all
No,
need
no, no.
help, sis.
What?
Don't make me come down there.
I
You
was
was
like,
like,
what?
you don't need him. We don't need him. See? Come
Right.
back, friends, baby. Cadillac was showing up, baby. She was popping out. Okay.
I was ready, Fred.
Girl, you was ready, girl. You about to be on D-Way, baby. Like, come back, friend. Come back. But yeah, I get what you're saying. No, for sure. Why is my phone blowing up? I know y'all see me on this live, girl. My phone is going.
That always be happening to me.
Oh, it's the party. I sent out the invites. That's what it is.
You didn't send me mine.
I'm gonna send it to you right after. Are you coming for real? Because I had to cut my list down.
I'm coming for real.
For real.
You told me before you said, listen, I'm gonna send you all the information so you can book your ticket. I ain't got shit yet.
Oh yeah, that was just last night though. So don't be acting like it been 2 weeks.
No, you told me that 2 weeks ago.
I did.
Yes.
Was I drunk?
I don't know.
I'm like, wait, bit of friend.
You told me that. So
Oh
you
yeah. I did. See, I have to do it right away. Let me
well,
just go ahead. I
circle.
have to do it right away because I'm gonna forget. I have to send it right away.
You was like, I want you to do a meditation circle. I was getting my stuff ready for the meditation circle. All I told you I was coming.
Okay, friend, you right. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. You
Okay.
like my locks, friend?
Yes, they're super cute. I love.
Thank you. I got them extended.
I like them. They're cute.
Thank you.
So I don't want to keep you on here long. I'm really enjoying the conversation. I love your insight about everything. I really
Thank
do.
you.
You know, so tell us, like you said, you're new to your spiritual journey. So how long have you been on the spiritual path?
So this year make 2, but this has been like my major year. Like this been the year where I was just like, it's so funny. This year was the year I tightened up, and it's so funny because I never had a moment that I can recall that I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I am going on this journey. It was just like over time, the more and more I got exposed to things that I didn't want to be a part of, I started making adjustments and researching about what I can do to unlearn those things. And then it turned into a whole journey. Like I didn't just sit down and decide that this is the space that I wanted to be in. It came to me. It's like it came to me. It
Mm-hmm.
was like beating my door down. It was like Big Brit is outside and she wanna love on you, but you're gonna have to let some pieces of baby Brit die. And I was like, let her in. Shoot.
I think
So
like I know for me right now, because I've been doing it for wow, this is a long time for 22 years. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I've been on my spiritual journey for 22 years.
that's a long time.
That's crazy, right?
Congrats to you though.
But thank you. But right now, I'm to a point where, for me, I know a lot of people maybe can relate to this, but I'm to a point where spiritually I'm connected when it comes to my spiritual gifts, when it comes to being able to speak with my ancestors, when it comes to all of the wonderful things, you know, manifesting money, being able to do some candle magic, whatever, manifestation. I'm good in that area, right? But my problem that was underlying for me was the fact that I didn't do the shadow work.
Oh, baby.
And then
Okay,
I
now
thought
you speaking my language. Hold on.
I thought that I did the shadow work. I thought that I did because I went to therapy for 3 years. You know what I
Girl,
mean? I
all this is for shadow work.
see. I
All
went,
this is for shadow work.
went to therapy for 3 years.
Oh, did you? That's awesome.
Meditated. You know,
Mm-hmm.
tried to get in my Zen space. Learned
Mm-hmm.
the point that I thought I did my shadow work when all I did was learn how to stifle my voice. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
I
All
do.
I did was learn how to, you know, stifle my voice, be a little bit more quiet, not really say how I felt, close my throat chakra. You know what I mean? I went from being very vocal to yeah, yeah, yeah to this.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? So
I
I
do
did
get what you're
all
saying.
of that and didn't realize, Catalea, part of your spiritual journey is to do your shadow work. Part of your spiritual journey is to go dig deep. Okay, yeah, I dealt with being molested. I dealt with that. I dealt with it, right? And I had came to a point through therapy where I accepted it, that it happened, right?
Your face, yeah.
But what I didn't do is I didn't connect that being molested and my dealings with men, I didn't connect those two. How it had an effect on me,
Mm-hmm.
or how it had an effect on my relationships. So I didn't do that. You know, I didn't think like, oh, you were like this because you didn't accept who you are. You know, just the shadow work. And so now I'm like, damn, 22 years of learning spirituality, of studying all of these different. I studied every religion. I have studied being a Muslim, Nuwabian, every religion, Hebrew, Israelite, Christian, everything. I had went on this big global search for spirituality, and then I just came down to, at the end, I was like, I just want to be pro-righteous. That was like the end conclusion. And so I did all of this and never did my shadow work. I mean, I did bits and pieces and I thought I did my shadow work, but when it came down to it, the little smallest of the things started to hurt me. And that's when I knew, well, not the smallest of the things. It took a lot. It was like the big things. And then it got to the point where it blew up. And I'm like, now I'm hurt because I let it escalate and escalate. You know what I'm talking about? I let the
Yeah.
little small things build up, build up, build up, build up, build up, build up. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. I did my shadow work. I did. No, you didn't, sis. You didn't do your shadow work. So
But what's okay? I understand what you're saying. I actually started off shadow work pretty early. I kind of never knew my journey without shadow work. However, what's to say that you doing your shadow work, the divinity in you didn't want it to be right now that you do it?
that's what I'm saying. It had to be. I had
You
to
know what I'm saying?
this moment that I had to go through whatever I went through. It had to be right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I do not think anything comes at the wrong time. I just do not subscribe to that narrative. I think that everything happens on time.
yeah.
And I don't think that you missed it. You didn't miss it. And everything that you had in the middle of it, if you mean that your life could be different, the way that you dealt with people in those 22 years, if you would have done your shadow work, it could have, but you don't know what that would look like either.
That's true.
You don't know what that would look like.
And you know, me being a Virgo, I beat myself up for it. I'm like, Catalea, like, how did you miss this?
Hmm.
How did you miss it? Like,
Yeah. It's also being kind. It's also being kind and understanding that, like, a lot that other people are not in tune with why they react instead of respond to things that happen to them through their trauma self, and you being in your healing self having grace on that. And
Right.
so that's why a lot of times it can be kind of easy to be taken advantage of in certain situations, because you do have empathy for people who are speaking from a trauma space. You know what I'm saying? And that takes, like, that situation that you had recently is because a traumatized person and the healing person can't really be, I don't think, can really cohabitate in the same energy for too long without one of them either becoming toxic or the other person be not being toxic anymore. So it's so, like, to us, we feel like, I think because it's our duty to enlighten our people, that sometimes that means that it's at our own expense, when it's just not always having to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Been
then
there a lot of times,
learn,
especially with family.
right. And I had to learn, like, stop taking everything so offensive. And I also had to learn, like, let people go. Because
Yeah.
like I went through such a tumultuous childhood,
Hmm.
where like my parents were together, then they wasn't. Then this person would leave my life, this person would come back. So I went through such tumultuous type childhoods that I wanted to always hold on to people.
Yeah.
I wanted people to always stay in my life forever and ever, just be my friend and be my we here forever. You got a
Yeah.
friend forever. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do that, but then I had to learn, like, you just gotta let people go, because sometimes, you know, y'all energy, like you said, is not in alignment.
It's not in alignment.
It's
Yeah.
just not. It's not gonna match up. It's not gonna mesh well, and that's okay. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually was thinking about that today as I was going through my birthday list, and I politely went from 125 people to 50 people real quick. And I just thought about all the things. Like, I'm like, I had, for each person, I was like, did I meet this person in my trauma self? Did I bond with them in my trauma self? How have they been since my healing self? Are they themselves healing? Is it a risk to have them in my space where I have to compromise my energy? You'll be surprised at how many people I had to scratch off the list. Because I realized that, like, my my independence and my freedom from my trauma self is dependent 100% on environment. It's all about environment. So just creating a safe space to be able to do that. But girl, this conversation go on and on. I'm not gonna hold you. I want to watch the sun go down. I'm about to go outside of my back pool and watch the sun go down. There's anything else you want to talk to me about real quick?
No, I was about to let you go.
You was okay, girl, because the sun about to go down in like 10 minutes. I'm like, let me get out here so I can
Okay,
watch it. You
understand.
know, working from home is hard because you always in your office or, like, in the house all the time. I've been in the house a year and a half working from home. So a lot of times I'm in here all day and then running my business at the same time. I could be in here 10, 12 hours and just go downstairs, get something to eat, and that's it. So I try to take a couple minutes at the end of the day, every day, just to step out, feel the breeze, and come back.
I understand. Well, thank you so much, Britt.
Of course.
I definitely appreciate you. I had a great interview with you.
Thank you, friend. I
And
love you so much, and I will send you the party invite.
this or the business page or anywhere
Yeah.
to follow you and stuff.
Absolutely. So my website is www.soulfitbybrit. SOULFITBRIT. Soul Fit by Brit. And then all my social media platforms are at Brittany Tankard, and Brittany is spelled like Britney Spears. Britney. I know there's a lot of ways to spell them, but if you just think Britney Spears, Brittany T, it'll pop up because I'm the only Brittany Tankard that I know. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, anything you can think of at Brittany Tankard. And website again is www.soulfitbybread. I do have nutrition plans and consultations available on there, shapers. This is actually my detox tea right here. I've been
Yeah.
detoxing. Y'all all need to detox because y'all know y'all was messing up during the COVID, okay? I sell multivitamins, liquid multivitamins. So yeah, you can get all of that on my website. Click the link in my bio or remember soulfitbybrit.com.
So fit bybritt.com. So thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
He said, "Do you got crystals?" I don't think she has crystals.
I don't have crystals. I'm actually not into crystals at all. And so no, I don't have crystals on them, my love.
Alrighty. So love and light, everybody. Peace and blessings. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Cataleya's World. And we out. Enjoy.
Mm.